So how do I confront an elephant in the room? Let me first just define an elephant. An elephant is when there's immature, inappropriate behavior that's not acceptable going on. It happens all the time. There are little elephants that grow into bigger elephants, and mid-sized elephants. And so, I mean, for example, you have someone who is highly defensive and very touchy in the middle of a meeting. It's an elephant in the room. Or someone who's talking the whole time and just smothering the conversation. It's an elephant. Or someone who's in the position in the room, but they're not doing their role or at all. Their performance is really poor. Everybody knows it, but no one wants to say anything about it. So how do we deal with them since they're everywhere? And so again, first of all, it depends on what's your role on the team there with the elephant in the room. And framing it as, first of all, elephants actually are gifts, not interruptions. They're opportunities for major moments of transformation in your life if you approach it well, and in the person's life who's actually functioning as the elephant, small or big. So this is really about leadership. It's a discipleship moment, and it's really about integrity. So first you got to pray. Pray, oh God, don't rush, don't go, jumping into the thing. And you want to make sure you've got a heart of love towards the person, and you want to be truthful. Remember, the kingdom of God is built on truth. You can't build it based on lies and pretense. And the degree to which we're living in truth is the degree of freedom and joy and unity that's really happening. And what seems like it's really little, such as someone makes a sarcastic remark across the room, and the room kind of gets frozen for a moment and everything moves on. It may be very little because it was a good meeting, but it's not little. Little things, all roads lead to Rome, and they're really moments. And I would very often will pull that person aside, or depending on the context and the level of trust in the room, I'd say, hey, Joe, you just made a comment and it had a bit of a zing to it. At least I sense that. What are you thinking? What's going on? If I had a lot of trust in the room and with that person, but if not, I would do it outside the room. And I would ask them, I said, are you aware that boom, this happened? And what was going on for you? And I would basically use an emotionally healthy skill in saying, we speak clearly, honestly, respectfully, in a timely fashion. And if you got some anger or it's got a charge to it, you want to deal with it in a different place. And you want to approach that person with humility. It takes tremendous courage to do this. And it takes a bit of faith. And you're going to feel like, I'm going to die if I do this. No, that's why this is about your discipleship, because it's so difficult to actually confront something challenging. You've got to be able to lead yourself. And this really is about you and really receiving a gift from God and moving into it, something like confronting an elephant in the room. So I just love John of the Cross, 16th century, when he says this, that when we hit these kind of difficult moments, these are God's transformational ways that through the pain and anguish of even something like a little elephant in the room and having to have this difficult conversation or conversations, these are really God's way of changing you in the process of doing it like Jesus and perhaps not like your family of origin or like the wider culture. It's about your formation. So there's an elephant in the room. It may be a gift sent from God for you.